All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here talking real music in real time for, I don't know, like a half a dozen real people out there just like you and just like me. So David Lee Roth is out there saying that, well, his retirement is kind of null and void. It's just his first retirement. He's, using the Gene Simmons model of retirement. He's only 67. I think Gene is what, like 72 or something like that. So he's 5 years behind, and he probably figures to generate some really good publicity for this Van Halen tribute show or this Van Halen reunion show, which I'm sure Irving Azoff is all over and is probably planning. But a lot of people are like, hey, pump the brakes, will you? Talking to me. Because I'm out there with a lot of other people doing videos talking about this possible Van Halen reunion. And quite honestly, am I really pumped up about a Van Halen reunion with David Lee Roth with his current singing ability? I mean, did people see the Vegas residency that he did? Things did not go well vocally for David Lee Roth, and he is trying to make up for it with all of his quirky showmanship and the things that he does to distract people from the fact that he's having trouble singing these songs, which again, he could sing 40 years ago, right? But he's having trouble singing them now. And this, of course, will be a big question moving forward if anything was to happen here. So the article came out, I think last night or this morning, I'm not really sure. My buddy Jonesy sent me the article and he captioned it, "Oh no," because Roth has hinted that he will take part in an all-star Van Halen tribute project with Alex Van Halen and Joe Satriani. And as I've said before, it would be really nice if Michael Anthony was there. Jason Newsted, who spilled the beans on this, I think may have been, I don't know, jilted by these guys. Maybe they considered Newsted, but then maybe they moved on. I don't know. But because Newsted spilled the beans, this came out, and I think nobody wanted this information to come out. The brain trust, if you'd like to call them that, of Van Halen probably was flabbergasted, like this was supposed to be under wraps. I mean, Eddie Van Halen's death was almost under wraps, right? Nobody knew how sick Eddie was. I mean, this is a band that keeps everything really close to the vest. And for decades now, Van Halen fans have no idea what's going on. And this is another instance of that. It just continues. And I think Alex has a lot to do with this. Dave has a lot to do with it because that's how he plays things. The fact that he announced his retirement, and then probably what happened was, hey, Dave, maybe we want to do a tribute, right? And fans definitely wanted some closure, and nobody really wanted to replace Eddie Van Halen, but the idea of Joe Satriani, I think, is a good idea. I think Joe is really on board with this, even though it's a daunting task. And he's said this, and every guitar player has said, hey, I can't do what Ed did. I will try to do the best I can. Is it just a money grab? I mean, that's obviously a byline here, or, a subheading, a big money grab here. Look, I think fans would pay pretty much anything these guys wanted them to pay to go see this. I'm not sure why that is, because Ed is no longer here, and most people would pay that kind of money to see Ed still here. But because he's not, I guess this is going to be hyped up, and I think this is what David Lee Roth is really good at. But one person said to me a few weeks ago, you're just kind of following the same, I don't know, strategy here, promoting this. And I'm saying, no, I'm doing what everybody else is doing. I'm speculating. I'm interjecting some of my own opinions here. My opinions might not be all that original. This could be David Lee Roth trying to pump up another solo career run, because he said he retired. Maybe he's not retiring, and maybe he's going to do those dates that he canceled last year because of the thing, right? And then what happens, I think, in the case of David Lee Roth is, well, I can never be too sure that my gigs aren't going to be canceled. And say this Van Halen tribute was scheduled for September or October. And what has been happening for the last couple of years? Well, we have a few months where we can have gigs and people show up and they don't need a QR code and life is good. And then all of a sudden, especially in certain states, the rug gets pulled out from under you, or in certain countries for that matter, and you're not able to do the gig. And you have to take a test in order to, clear yourself for takeoff, which is just, I guess, the new normal. I don't think it's normal, and it's certainly not new anymore. But, it could be a money grab. It could be that Newstead got frustrated with waiting for something to happen and decided to spill the beans. It could be that Dave is just trying to promote himself. Nobody really knows, because these guys don't let you know. Michael Anthony has said that he was spoken to about this, and he's obviously in on it. I'm hoping if they decide to do something that Michael, Dave, and Alex are there. As much as Dave, vocally speaking, is going to struggle, I think people will show up to see those three original guys. And then you add Joe Satriani. And for Chickenfoot fans, I mean, again, or just Satriani fans, it's kind of like the Sammy stuff is merging a little bit with the Dave stuff, with Satriani being the bridge. And again, if I'm Irving Azoff, I'm trying to get Sammy Hagar in on this as well. And Sammy, he's the guy who can still sing, so you got to have Sammy there. But in any event, folks, who knows? A lot of speculation. Dave coming out of retirement. Surprising, huh? I mean, Gene Simmons did it, 10 times or something? So maybe not that many, okay? So by the way, don't quote me on meaningless things that I say. It's a meaningless thing that I said, hey, Gene Simmons came out of retirement 10 times, or at least Kiss said they were going to retire, and then they came back. And, Van Halen never said, hey, we're retiring. But we figured once the news got out that Eddie was no longer here, that maybe this would just stop. But remember, the Eagles said they weren't going on without Glenn Fry, and then they've been going and going, and they're still going without Glenn, and now even without Deacon Fry, his replacement. So it's interesting. I think if there's enough money there, they'll figure out a way to do this. And it probably will not live up to your expectations, especially when you see the bill for 2 tickets. If you got a charge card and you're getting a bill every month, and you put 2 tickets to see the Van Halen tribute on your credit card, and a month later the bill shows up, and you're going to be like, wow, I paid this much money to go see that. And especially for those people who were lucky enough to see Van Halen in their prime, seeing Van Halen in this sort of reconstituted form with an old David Lee Roth who's really struggling, and without Eddie Van Halen, it's not going to be the same. But we're all nostalgic. We're holding on. We're holding on to the past, and we're hoping the past will continue forever and ever. But it's unlikely that's going to happen. So in any event, more wild speculation about a possible Van Halen tribute or Van Halen reunion, with Dave saying, you know what, maybe I'm not really retired after all. Yeah, excellent. Like we didn't see that coming, right?